Let's find the domain of a function. We have f of x is equal to x plus 3 over 2x minus 5. We want to exclude values of x that makes the denominator equal to 0. Let's set the denominator equal to 0. So 2x minus 5 is equal to 0, and we solve for x. 2x is equal to 5, x is equal to 5 over 2. So when x is equal to 5 over 2, the denominator is equal to 0, which means that the domain of this function does not include x is equal to 5 over 2. The domain is negative infinity to 5 over 2 union of 5 over 2 to infinity. So x is equal to 5 over 2 is not included. Now we have f of x is equal to x over x squared plus 4. Again, we want to exclude values of x that make the denominator equal to 0. So let's set the denominator equal to 0. X squared plus 4 is equal to 0. And x squared is equal to negative 4. Since x squared is always positive or 0, it's never negative. So there is no x that makes the denominator equal to 0. The domain is all real numbers. Now we have f of x is equal to square root of 2 minus x. In this case, we want to exclude values of x that make the radicand negative. So it means that the radicand has to be greater than or equal to 0. So we have 2 minus x has to be greater than or equal to 0. So we have negative x greater than or equal to negative 2. And we need to multiply by negative 1. We get x less than or equal to 2. Since we divided by negative 1, we need to reverse the inequality. The domain is all real numbers that is less than or equal to 2. The domain is negative infinity to 2 included. Let's solve f of x is equal to square root of 8 plus x over 1 plus 2x. This function has the denominator and radicals. In this case, we need to exclude values of x that make the radicand less than 0 and the denominator is equal to 0. We need to have radicand greater than or equal to 0 and the denominator not equal to 0. For radicand, we have 8 plus x is greater than or equal to 0, so x is greater than or equal to negative 8. Now let's look at the denominator. We have 1 plus 2x, which cannot be equal to 0. Let's set equal to 0. 2x is equal to negative 1, so x is equal to negative 1 half, which means that x cannot be equal to negative 1 half. From the first step, we know that x has to be greater than or equal to negative 8. And from the second step, x cannot be equal to negative 1 half. So we need to exclude negative 1 half. So the domain is negative 8 to negative 1 half union negative 1 half and infinity. So negative 1 half is not included.